Hello and welcome everybody to what is going to be the first in an ongoing series of interviews slash profiles with members of Aural Alliance. And today, in the first edition of this, I have with me Osvld
Hey,
Da Hawk.
how's it going?
Da
Hawk, that's
do
me,
I have that
yeah.
correct? Yes.
Yeah, it is.
So Osvld, do you wanna introduce yourself a little bit?
Well, yeah, I'm Osvld, Mexican, 17-year-old at the moment, current EDM producer, mainly focusing on bass, heavy bass and genres, and yeah, just having fun making music, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And everything that I've heard, which I think it's everything that you basically have on streaming. I'm not sure if you have stuff on SoundCloud that's not on like Spotify and whatnot, but
A couple songs, maybe just
a little bit.
and
Okay.
one another whip, yeah.
Everything that I've heard has definitely been very fun. I think that's probably the best way to describe it for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So tell me how did you get into producing music in the first place?
Well, it's, I guess, a long ago, actually. I started like maybe 5 years ago, I believe. 4 or 5 years ago, when I was 14, 13. I always liked like electronic music. More than anything, just listening to pop hits in the radio, and I loved it. I certainly did. After like just being really fan of music generally, I started looking at random YouTube videos just because I was bored all the time. And I looked at a bunch of YouTube videos, and I suddenly started looking at production videos, like just meme production, how to make this genre on YouTube, and like I really enjoyed it. And eventually just figured out like, I mean, I could do this, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I just started on my phone with like whatever random app just there was. And I started making melodies and making whatever in one afternoon. And well, eventually got there, started discovering new genres and new artists I really enjoyed. And well, here we are, but after 4 years, still making music.
Yeah, so you were just using like free like app store DAWs that you were finding on your phone?
I actually think the one I used the most was one called the Medley, which was free and had a bunch of presets on it. And I just tried recreating songs I liked with that little app. It was it was fun. Yeah.
I see. Did you have any history with music before that? Like, did you play any instruments or anything?
Well, not really. I mean, I had a like interest in music, but not really to a certain degree where I was like, oh, I want to start learning an instrument. Not really, actually. I did started playing piano, but that was like a year after I started producing, just so I could get some more knowledge. But yeah, it was kind of sudden, actually, I guess.
Yeah, what sparked that initially? Like, was it the people that you were listening to at the time, or?
I think it was more the fun I was having listening to music. Because like I cannot describe it, but there were songs that I just heard and my whole day just got better. I don't know.
Yeah,
it was great. Yeah.
Can do you remember any off the top of your head that did that?
Well, Bruno Mars.
Okay, fair.
Like yeah, like back at the day, I was a heavy fan of Bruno Mars, but like I don't know, songs like No Copyright Sound songs I randomly stumbled upon across, or like Marshmello, Avicii. I was a mad fan of Avicii. I don't, like mainstream things mainly, but like that was what I listened to the most. Yeah.
Was it mostly stuff that you were finding like through YouTube recommendations or?
That and the radio. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So are some of those guys, particularly like Marshmello and Avicii, which, you know, R.I.P. Are they
Yeah.
like some of your biggest influences in the stuff that you're producing now?
Not anymore, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
they were when I started 4 years ago, but now it's more. Well, I knew I had an interest in dubstep because that's the genre I mainly focus on right now. But um, yeah, inspiration wise, I have always had a big inspiration on Virtual Riot, producers like Crank That, Samplifier, Infect. Um, I can't remember more, but I like just really artists that just make having a impactful energy to their songs, which just make my day better in some way. So
Yeah,
those are my main
absolutely.
inspirations right now. Not really those, not really anymore, but like I still enjoy some of their songs.
Yeah, is the music that you're producing now, is it the genre wise, is it heavily, you know, different from when you started a couple of years ago?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Because like back in the day, I used to make, and I do have these songs still up on my YouTube channel, which I will forgive myself for not deleting them, because they're cringe as hell. But like, I won't delete them. They're part of my history. But
What
back in the day, I used to do a lot of progressive house and kind of like, yeah, typical no copyright sounds song you'd listen to, you know?
Right, right. Okay. Okay.
Like
S
future house or something like that. But
yeah,
now it has changed a lot. Yes.
how did your from a listening perspective, how did it evolve into listening to a lot more dubstep producers?
Well, maybe just like how it evolved. I guess it was like just discovering and getting into the community because
Yeah.
like the dubstep community is a large community, to be fair. So like again, I said like I knew I had an interest in dubstep back in the day because like I used to listen a couple tracks back like from time to time, uh, like a lot of years ago. But
Yeah.
when I started discovering new artists, new inspirations, new yeah, just more things in general, I guess, in the community. I I eventually discovered artists I liked more and more, and got inspired by them with like the things I wanted to make. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, Going off of that, does what DAW do you use at this point?
Well, as of right now, I'm using FL Studio. I started with FL Studio. Actually, the production videos I used to look at 4 years ago were FL Studio production videos. And I guess, mainly started with FL Studio because of Eliminate, which is also a somewhat big inspiration for me.
Right.
And which he also uses FL Studio.
Yeah, that's
And
that's what I was going to ask about. I'm surprised by the number of people that use FL Studio now, because I remember back in like the early 2000s, when it was still called Fruity Loops, it was kind
oh
of
yeah.
it was kind of a joke for a lot of producers. It was like the one that people didn't take seriously, but now it's become like
Yeah.
this really popular thing that people in all different types of genres use. And
Yeah, actually I think it's still the joke, but like
is it?
I think so because like
Okay.
for instance I still talk with, I mean, of course I've got a lot of producer um yeah, producer friends,
Right.
and yeah, they always just say like, yeah, FL Studio is for the beginners, stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I was gonna
but it's
ask.
still, yeah,
Oh yeah. No, go ahead. Go
it's
ahead.
still how it's still crazy how much people use FL Studio. I think if not is the most used of DAW. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing is that like for years I was hearing way more about stuff like Ableton. And
Yeah.
at this point, I still hear a lot of people talk about Ableton, but a lot of people who are strictly making EDM, I hear way more talk about FL Studio, like even just in the last 5 years than prior to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
And
I think, yeah.
I was gonna ask, yeah, if that was inspired by somebody that you listened to. So that was the jumping off point, is somebody that you listened to used it, so you
Yeah.
decided that that was the one you wanted to learn.
Yeah, and also it was kind of like convenient because I watched Eliminate videos a lot, like I mean a lot, and pretty much I got FL Studio, and in a week or two I learned how to use it.
Okay.
It was like crazy, yeah, because like a lot of people have like, oh, learning DOS is hard because there's so much things you can do, and a lot of like besides any no DAW is similar to the other. Like for instance, in Ableton, I believe if I had Ableton, I would not be able to make anything. So
why do you say that?
it's just so different because like of course I've seen how Ableton works, like how it's supposed to work, where things are, but I don't know how I wouldn't know how to use it still.
I think I get what you mean, because they all functionally do the same thing, but they do them in such different ways. And
yes.
so it's like you learn how to do it one way, and then trying to relearn it is like, I mean, speaking from experience as well, like I have a friend who goes really, really hard on the Ableton train, and he's constantly trying to convince me to switch to it. And I'm like, I already learned one. I'm not relearning this. Like, so I get that. I get that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just switching your whole workflow instantly.
Right.
So yeah.
So what
yeah,
is
FL Gang.
what is your what does your production process look like as a whole, in from start to finish? How do you construct a song?
Well, first of all, I actually tweeted about this, so if I remember correctly. First of all, I just have an idea, like just get inspired and listen to a bunch of things and just have an idea like, oh, I want to make some sort of like vibe with these. I don't know, like just have an idea, like something that you think you could make an entire song about. For me, well, I've done some of my examples of songs I've made like this is Fly Away, my release with Aural Alliance. I just wanted to like make a debut song that talked about, not talked about, but like just felt like starting something new. And I don't know, I just wanted to make something melodic, inspireful, and just fun to listen to.
Right.
So yeah, start with an idea. And after you kind of know how you could achieve this idea, start planning out. Well, not planning out, but like just start from the beginning, I guess. So how I start is like if I want to make like something melodic, I just start basing off chords, just like main with FL keys, like the most basic piano plugin ever.
Right.
I just put the chords and a melody, and I start just making an intro with that. Start building more and more. If I want to make, I don't know, something heavy or something more chaotic, I don't know, I start with maybe a serum preset or just something that lifts me up right quickly, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Because like when you got that inspiration, you gotta take advantage of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So just don't let it like go away.
Right, because that's one of those things you can't really control when that happens.
Definitely,
unfortunately.
Yeah. When inspiration strikes, you gotta take advantage of that.
Yeah.
And after that, pretty much when I've got something going, it just doesn't stop, you know. So pretty much when I've got like an intro, the drop comes like instantly, and then the bridge, and then the second drop, and then the outro, and then the mastering. Like everything just comes quickly when you've got an initial idea that that you like.
Yeah, absolutely,
And
absolutely.
that's also why part of my workflow is that I absolutely can't start with a drop, because I just need to know how an intro would be to make a drop. So yeah, that's
okay. I see. Yeah. So you need to know, like, you need to know how it's building up to the drop before you get to it. You can't just start
definitely.
with the climax.
Yeah, definitely, because like also part of the emotion or vibe I get is inspired from the intro. So I think if I started with a drop, I would just be like naked there. Like I don't know what would I do.
Right. Yeah,
So,
yeah. It'd be like working backwards to try and figure out the intro after that point.
Yeah, definitely. Yes.
Okay. I see. What about you said that you typically start with what did you say the plugin is called? Fruity Keys?
FL Keys, yeah.
FL
Like
Keys.
just
Okay.
it's the most basic piano plugin there is on FL Studio. Yeah.
Right. One of the default ones.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you, outside of that, like if you have an idea for a melody or something, do you test it out on your keyboard or anything like that beforehand, or does it usually start with the programming stage?
Well, I sometimes when I have an idea for a melody or something like that, yes, I try recreating it on FL Keys, but to not get lost, I actually record it like with a voicemail. You know?
Okay, yeah,
So
definitely.
I get my phone and start da 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 da. I don't know, whatever, and I try recreating that on FL Keys, and it usually works out.
Yes, I actually I know exactly what you're talking about, because if you try to recreate it from ear, then you start working on it, then eventually you'll forget what it originally sounded like if you don't have it recorded, right?
Yeah. And you can't like that. That's the easiest way to just get something done. Something like based to get you started from. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it also works with not just the melodies or I don't know chord progressions or whatever. Just like with whatever vibe. I don't know. Just start beatboxing it.
Sure. Yeah.
If you've got an idea, just spit it out. Pretty
Right.
much.
Right. Definitely. Like, it's metaphorically put the idea on paper so that you don't lose it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Absolutely. You mentioned previously, I think it was Take Off, the song that you released toward the end of last year.
Yes.
How did that come to be? Because you had done, I think, one or two other, I'm looking at your catalog here, one or two other collaborations prior to that. And how did that come about, doing the production on a vocal song and, more generally speaking, doing collaborative songs? Like, how did those come about, and how does that typically work?
Well, for me, collaborations are like easy. You know, well, not easy, but like depends, of course. I'll explain. So pretty much on Takeoff, what I wanted like is just like debut, like it was my debut on a label, you know, like a big step. So I wanted something, as I said before, something big, something melodic, impactful, that cheered you up. So pretty much I forced myself into making a song like that. And I like had planned like, this is gonna be my debut on Aural Alliance. And when I started like making the song and stuff, I realized like this needs vocals, but like this really needs vocals. Because like when I have a song that I say this needs vocals, but I can't get a vocalist because that's kind of hard. I just make like a lead, and that's like a lead melody.
Right.
And that works out. But this really needed vocals. So what I did, I asked out on our Alliance server.
Mm-hmm.
I said like, do you guys know any vocalists that may want to try something? I don't know. And they said, yeah, there's this guy, Dodolos Dog. He's such a cool guy, actually. Said like he's a vocalist. I've worked with him. I don't know. And I said, okay, cool. I reached out to him. I sent him the work in progress, and he was down to making some vocals. And I literally just told him, okay, so this is the bass.
Mm-hmm.
This is the BPM key, and this is the title of the song. I knew it. I wanted to call it "Fly Away."
Mm-hmm.
So I literally just told him that, and he made the entire the entire lyrics and sang them and sent them back to me.
So did you sent him the completed instrumental at that point, or just the information about the song?
Information and they work in progress.
Oh, work in progress. Okay, I got you. That's
so,
okay.
And that's why I'm saying like collabs are easy because like you don't really have to meticulously work together to like, I don't know, let's hop on a Discord call, let's do a 30-hour session producing or whatever. No, just if the both ends work and just make something and just smash it together, I don't know. Like it'll work out. For me, actually, I've been doing a lot of collabs lately. Mm-hmm. And for it usually works out less like a okay, so I want to make a collab with you. You are up? Sure, okay. I start an intro or he starts an intro or whatever. Mm-hmm. We send the stems. I changed the stems a bit, so I don't know, they match the vibe I want. Because that's also a cool thing with collaborations. You can make something, but also let the other person change it because, well, it's a new pair of ears and it'll definitely be better.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I work on what they did. I start something new. Then I send them, maybe not send it back, but I tell them, okay, I got this. Maybe you can make the next part. Sure, they make it. And it just takes a week to make a collab, actually.
Right.
You just gotta work and make sure the other person is working and nothing would go wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. So you said that you've been working on a lot of collabs recently. Is that for something that's not released yet, or is that...
No, not released. I'm planning, and I guess I could tease it.
Only if you want to. Only if you want to.
Yeah, actually, sure, why not? I'm working on a big EP. Actually, mm-hmm. Like, I would consider it my biggest project ever. Because it's gonna be an entire EP, which every song is a different collaboration. Mainly from Aural Alliance, but also from other friends and important persons I know. Mm-hmm. And this EP, which will be called Aviators EP, is gonna be, hopefully, about 10 tracks long. I don't know, because that's also a thing with collabs. Maybe you guys don't really agree with workflows, and that's all right. Maybe your workflow doesn't match with the other person's workflow and the collab just doesn't work. And that's okay. So maybe out of those 10 collabs, maybe just 8 or 7 will be done. So, that's a work in progress, I guess.
I see. But okay.
That's why I've been making a lot of collabs, because I'm trying to make an entire EP out of those tracks. Okay. And those are... I'm just gonna say those are like amazing.
Oh, that's super exciting.
Yes.
Is there a projected release date, or is it just kind of like sometime this year?
Not really, because I mean definitely this year, mm-hmm. But I don't really know when, because like there's just a lot of songs and there's still people interested in collabing. So Yeah, I wouldn't really know when, but I'm expecting by the second half of the year,
Okay.
maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, by early second half of the year,
Well,
I guess.
that's super exciting because the collaborative stuff that you've released in the last year, I've really enjoyed, and I mean, also though your solo stuff too. So I'm excited to see what else you do in the future. If we could
Yeah, definitely.
if we could actually like take
Thanks.
a step back and oh yeah, of course. If we could take a
Yes.
step back and look at your release from, let's see, it was February of last year. So it's
Oh,
almost been a
yes.
year. It's almost been a year. The
Actually, yeah.
yeah, like by the time that this goes up, it'll probably be a little bit over a year, actually. I'm not sure.
Oh,
I'm not sure
yeah.
exactly when this is going to go up yet, but we'll see.
Well, if that's the case, I've got something to announce.
But okay, well so the Wild EP. I
Definitely.
wanted to talk to you about that a little bit. Did you
Oh,
you have something
yes.
that you want to announce regarding that or
Well, yeah, you mentioned it was like gonna be almost a year since that released. And to like commemorate in some sort of way that year, because it was my first like EP.
Mhm.
So it is pretty important to me. That album is pretty important to me. So to commemorate it, I'll be re-releasing "Fly Away." No, wait, it was. Oh shit! I was confusing names this entire time. Actually, not Take Off, Fly Away, Fly Away.
Okay.
I'll be re-releasing Fly Away on Aural Alliance on February 3rd.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, to right
So
on the one
yeah.
year anniversary. I got you.
Yep.
Oh,
Definitely. Yeah.
that's exciting. I think
So that's the announcement. Like, if you guys haven't heard it, go listen to it.
yes, definitely. Links
Yes.
will be down in the description on YouTube. And if this ever gets converted into an audio format or anything, you're probably already listening to this on a place where you have access to all of Aural Alliance's catalog. So definitely go check that
Awesome.
out if you
Awesome.
haven't already. Is that you're re-releasing it? Are you remastering it, or is it gonna
Yeah.
just be the original song?
Well, the original song was a mess, so yeah, I'm remastering it.
I quite enjoy that EP, especially actually the one the song right before that, because Fly Away is the closer for the EP. The one right before that, Systems Alive, is probably my
Oh,
favorite off of that project.
same actually.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. That song just has a lot of history too. Like,
Oh, really?
it's just an amazing song. Yes, I started it. Oof, I started it. Oh my god. Yeah. Okay, I'm remembering things. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that song, I started it probably a year before I released the Wild EP.
Okay.
So it was the first song I actually started, and it started with a collab with well, one of my boyfriends who now we're super friends.
Mhm.
And we started as a collab, and it was just, I don't know, everything went so fluidly, you know.
Sure.
But so I started with the guitar you can hear, which is probably my favorite part of that song. Like my favorite element, the like spacey guitar you can hear in the intro.
Yeah. Yeah.
It started with that, and then just started building up. But well, eventually that collaboration couldn't well be done because, well, as I said, workflows don't really ever, well, don't really work sometimes,
Yeah.
and that's okay. So yeah, that song was originally gonna be called something like Time Travelers or something like that, but it was gonna be about time and going back into the past or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, it started with that guitar. Well, it was like, it was like a cool idea. So well, I abandoned it. I didn't abandon it, but like I just kept it as a placeholder.
Okay.
And that's also a tip I would like recommend to everyone. Don't ever give up on a song project.
Oh yeah,
because like you don't know what it could become.
Yeah, hard agree. Like especially even if you want to scrap something from a project, save the project files. Like put them in a drawer and bring them out later and take another look at them, right? Because never just actually throw something away.
Yeah, and it's also like great inspiration because like maybe you make a project but like you don't end up liking it, so you just put it on that placeholder, forget about it, and maybe, and this will happens to everyone, like maybe you one day will have like a writer's block or anything, you just don't know what to do, but you want to make music. And so you just open one project you had and keep working on it.
Yes.
And ideas just will flow. Yes.
Definitely. So you said that was probably the oldest thing on Wild, but as a whole, I feel like the 5 songs on that kind of flow together as one. It almost feels like it's an original DJ set, if that makes sense. Like the way that they all flow from one to the next, they sound like they could be a live set, but they're all original songs, if that makes sense.
And that was actually intentional because what I wanted to do is like, I wanted like every song to flow through the to the next song like pretty easily, or pretty like unnoticeably. Right. And the easiest way I had to do that, because like what I could do is just like, tease the intro melody of the next song with the outro of the last song. But that was gonna be tricky, maybe because like keys and BPMs and whatever, but meh. So what I just did was the easiest way you could do it, and just on the outro of every song except for the last one, I just had a big sweep, like just, and it would stop like, it would stop like harshly, but on the next song there would be an impact to it. So every song would be like every transition would be like that.
Right. Right. So then it all ends up just flowing.
Yeah, that was intentional. Yes.
Okay.
And you can notice like Hounds, the intro does not have an impact, and Fly Away, the finisher, does not have a sweep. So
right, because they're the beginning and the end, so it's the like definitive beginning and ending. Right. Okay.
Yeah. And also, I want to add.
Yeah.
Also, that might be a also cause, because like every song I did except for Systems Alive, every song I did was chronological. So like I made first Hounds, then I made an Arachnophobia, then I made Grizzly, then I retook System Alive, finished it, and then I made Fly Away.
Okay.
Yes.
So it almost the production process almost was like you were working on one really big song, like one 20 or 30-minute song.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. How does what we saw on that project, how does that reflect what you're doing going forward, or does it with this with the Aviators project that you're talking about? Are you doing completely different stuff, or is it going to be similar to what we heard on Wild, or what do you think? How would you describe
it? I guess maybe it could be similar, not in every extent, because in the end they're all collaborations, so there will be a lot of different sounds and a lot of different genres. But I say maybe it'll be similar, because I feel like when I made Wild, I already was like discovering my sound, to say it like that. Right. It's weird because like I don't know how to explain it, but it's just the fact that every producer or every artist really just has like one kind of sound, you know, like you can hear to their music and say, oh, that's their music, without really knowing their artist.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and that's how you can say, oh, this song sounds like this artist or like that. And I feel like in Wild, I started like discovering and developing my own sound. And well, I've been told that, well, I've been showing my work in progresses on the Aural Alliance, group we have. I've been told that, oh, this sounds like you, but with my things. So that's I don't know. That's cool. I guess.
I see what you're saying. Yes. Yeah. For sure. Mm-hmm. Like Wild is kind of where you started to, I don't know the right word. Like your sound started to like coalesce, and then this is the next evolution of that. And because it's so collaborative, it's going to be every track is probably going to sound different, but your work on it will be the thing that's like the through line, the consistent aspect of the sound, right?
Yeah, because like it's also funny because like I also want to match the vibe that the person I'm collabing with has. So like if a person, I don't know, usually does chill stuff, I also want to do something chill, but I of course want to give my flair to it.
Yeah, of course,
so, yes.
Of course. Well, that's
it'll be
really
just
exciting.
Like an expansion of my sound, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm excited, especially because of everything else that I've heard off of Aural Alliance, which is not everything that they've released because there's been a lot already.
Yeah, especially on Chimeras, I think it's like pronounced. Like he released, I think, like a 20 song album, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's just like, dude, chill. Come on.
I definitely saw like the sheer number of albums that that were released from them last year, and it was a lot.
But I mean, to be fair, it's not only him, it's other 50 super talented people.
Right.
So yeah.
Which I wanted to get into that because we've talked about it tangentially multiple times now, like talking about Takeoff with Daedalus Dog, and then your most recent single, Ultimate Fighter, was that also?
Oh yes.
that was also through Aural Alliance, right? Or
it wasn't.
It was not.
It wasn't.
Okay.
No. Because that song is great, I was just afraid there were gonna be copyright things, which they in the end weren't.
Okay.
But
okay.
Finn just wanted to make sure.
The vocal samples, right? Okay, that makes sense now. Thinking about it. No, that song is fantastic. There's a lot of energy, like what you're talking about, like uplifting, forward moving energy in that song.
Yeah, and well, fun fact. That song also has a lot of history.
Okay. Do you want to get into that?
Well, if we have time, sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So pretty much like my father, which I love. He's pretty much like my inspiration day to day to keep going. Like he's just amazing, and he has taught me a lot of things. Even though I don't live with him anymore because, well, family stuff, I don't know. I haven't lived with him since I had memory, but I do see him, and he's taught me a lot of stuff, a lot of valuable things. Don't ever give up and stuff like that. Actually, now I'm getting a bit sidetracked. But
no, that's okay.
Fly Away, if you listen to the lyrics, the lyrics were actually made by me. And they're like not a tribute, but just like a personification of what my dad tells me every day.
Oh, okay.
So like, also that's why at the end of the song you can listen, it seems surreal, but my father said, and the whole thing.
Right, okay.
And
I get
my father is such a big, just a big figure to me. That we almost every weekend we watch the UFC. I go to his house and we watched the UFC.
Right.
And he just told me, we are of course a huge fan of Bruce Banner's introduction and stuff. And he told me, you should make that a song. And I said, you know what? That's actually not a bad idea. So I just did it, and it all worked.
Right. Okay.
Great. So
that's really cool.
Yeah. That's also part of inspiration of why it just sounds so powerful, because it's like just that energy of watching the UFC with my dad.
Right. Because I definitely thought I've never super, I've never really watched any type of competitive fighting or anything like that. Most of what I know of it is through cultural osmosis. But I definitely thought that you nailed, as somebody who is clearly not an expert in this at all, I definitely thought that you nailed the vibe of it being like a ring intro song. So absolutely, I can see it. I can see it. That's awesome.
I wanted to nail that, like the vibe you get just from watching two guys on a octagon fighting to pretty much death.
Right.
But yeah.
So that one, because of the potential copyright stuff, was not done through Aural Alliance. But I wanted to ask about because it's a huge thing. It has taken off very quickly, and the roster has it's up to almost 50 people now. How did you?
I have 45. Actually.
45. Yeah. Okay. How did you find Aural Alliance, and how did you get into it?
I love this story. So pretty much, I was aware because, well, in case people listening right now aren't aware, Aural Alliance was formerly Fastnet Music, and I was aware of this. But I listened to Fastnet's music a lot back in the day. Well, not really a lot, but I used to listen to it.
Right.
And I just found so cool, like generally just so cool, like an idea of a furry based or furry themed label that just had a lot of furry artists. I think at that time were almost like 600. Maybe I'm going a bit off the chart, but they were on the hundreds.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact number, but it was definitely a lot. Yes.
Yeah, I just know they were on the hundreds. And I just found that so cool because it was true. Like, music on the furry fandom is like maybe and probably the least or one of the least underrated types of art there is. Because
yes.
Of course you always get like art and animations and I don't know, but music was just so underrated because there was so much potential on it, and I was aware of it, and I was on the server of the Fastnet server, and it shut down because of various reasons. I don't really know. I do know, but I won't really get into it. But, well, pretty much, I always wanted to get into Fastnet music, but I just didn't. I didn't feel like I was prepared.
Okay.
So, well, besides, I'm still underage, but I was a lot more underage. Like, I was 15 or 16, I don't know. So, yeah. It shut down. I was like really sad because it was such an amazing project. And well, we fast forward to, I believe was June 2023. Well, when Aural Alliance started.
I think you're correct. Yeah, I think it was June of 2023.
Yeah. And I was I was on my bed, 1 a.m., just scrolling through Twitter because I have I just can't sleep sometimes. And I was there just like, man, whatever. And I see Finn's tweet. Not even 2 minutes have passed since he like tweeted it, and he said, "We're going back to doing like this furry label thing. but a lot different, a whole new name and branding of it. Aural Alliance is coming back, and slots are open if you wanna come in. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty much the first guy to see this, and this is pretty important because like at that time I was not sure yet I was like worth of being on a label. But I said like, dude, this is like the only chance I'm getting now. Like this is a chance. How am I gonna like pass on a chance? So I've filled out the form and went to sleep pretty much. Like I was just like, damn, I just sign into a label? Like I'm really doing this? At that time there wasn't like age restriction or anything, so I was just like a bit, I don't know, I was a bit confused of what had happened because I filled the form in 2 minutes and I wasn't planning on doing that. So I go to sleep and 9 in the morning I wake up and I just have a DM from Finn saying, "Hey, you're in."
Oh, okay.
Pretty much. Yeah, it was
Nice.
all of it. Yeah, okay, you're cool. Come on.
Right.
Come here.
That's
I believe I don't want to be like because I'm not sure, but I believe I'm the first member of our alliance.
Yeah. Well, that's funny because when I talked to Finn previously for just like a news type piece relating to Aural Alliance in general, they started Aural Alliance basically in the span of 2 days of, Fuzznet shut down. They, for about a year, weren't planning on doing anything. And then more or less, they had the idea to do it. And within 48 hours, they had it up and running. So that sounds like pretty much within the first like 50 or 60 hours. Definitely within 3 days of Finn talking about the idea, you were signed on.
Yeah,
so
I was there.
awesome.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because like I was, I believe I got into the server. There were already like a couple people there, but I believe that in 48 hours we already had 30 artists.
Wow.
And
Okay.
it was insane. Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that quick because I know that there have been multiple additions since then that have added more people to the roster, but I didn't realize that it started with that many. Or maybe I didn't. I forgot. I'm not sure, but
yeah, I believe it started with like 30 or 35, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
Then we opened slots, but yeah, pretty much. I was one of the first people to like go there, and that's also like I want to tell people because like if you have an idea and you if you have an opportunity,
yes,
and even though you don't feel qualified, still take it because like what would happen if you don't take it? Like you just come on,
right.
I wouldn't lose anything if I signed and then they told me, sorry, you can't, or you're not good enough. Like that's okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But like, but if I didn't try it, I wouldn't be here.
Exactly, because it's almost like you had the opportunity the one time with Fuzznet and you didn't take it, and you recognized the second time that it came around that you probably weren't going to get the option a third time or the opportunity a third time. So
because like that first time was like pretty much like how we do like how we get people into the roster now is like we vote for the ones that have more potential or have the more potential or we like the best. But at that time there was no one to like vote. So
right.
It was just like whoever wants to come here and trust on this project, come. And I was like I want that.
Yeah, absolutely. How have things been since then? It's been a little more than half a year at this point. How has it been being a part of that?
It's just been wonderful. Like, they are just such cool and talented people. Like, I couldn't even describe how cool they all are, because in the end it's a collaborative project, and what benefits one benefits us all. So pretty much, like, yeah, I can say, hey, I want to do an EP where I collab with every one of you. And literally almost everyone that was online at that moment said, I want to do that.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's just amazing to have a group that just supports you unconditionally, because they know that in the end it benefits us all.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it's just amazing. The work with the Aural Alliance guys and with Finn, it's been professional and it's been just a blast, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. Everything that I have seen has been nothing but positive so far. So that's
Yes.
awesome that it's not just me. Because obviously I'm not technically a part of the label. I am, or I guess if I'm a part of it, it's only on a technicality. It's in this capacity so that I can talk to people.
Well, now you're doing podcast. Now you are in the label.
Right. Well, I just mean to say I don't think I'm on the same page as you, where when you first didn't submit your music to Fuzznet, I'm like, if I submitted my stuff, I don't think I would get the votes to get in, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm happy just being a little trash goblin over here. In this capacity, this is a good capacity.
Yeah, but it's still good. Like, you tried and you gave your best, so there's no shame on that. And you learn from your experiences and try again better the next time.
Yeah. What about going even a step further back than that?
Right.
We're talking about, different types of furry media in general, and I think you touched on something that I think is really pertinent. It's that visual and especially video artists end up getting a lot of clout in the furry fandom. Looking back at stuff that was published like in the 90s and the early 2000s, people were complaining even back then that written works in the furry fandom kind of get like they have an even more niche subset of the fandom, that because the furry fandom is fairly large. And everybody likes visual art. The people who
Furry,
like written art, it's like it's small. You know what I mean? But then this idea of like furry music is something that's a lot newer. I would argue that as a formal thing, furry music is a lot newer, and people are still debating about what like the definition of that even is. But
yeah.
How did you find the furry fandom in the first place?
Well, maybe it was like randomly, actually. But I know what you mean, that because like, well, the furry fandom, like, it has been even before I was born. So
right,
I know it's big. But yeah, I guess my first interaction with furry music was with this song, which released on Fuzznet, I believe, from Tigre, I think it's called. Like, it's called I don't really know. It's the melody is like that. I can't remember the name of a song. Damn. Hold up.
That's okay. That's okay.
I'm actually gonna look on my Spotify playlist.
Okay, fair. It's not ringing any bells off the top of my head, but like you said, Fuzznet was so huge that trying to remember everything that was on there would have been impossible.
Yeah. Tension. It's called Tension.
Tension. Okay.
Tension by Tugger was the first song from Fuzznet and the first furry song I've ever listened to it too. And I found that I was a furry at that time. I found that, and my little 6 month old producer brain was like, dude, this is fucking amazing. This is just the best. And that's how I got into Fastnet and knew about them. And pretty much from there, I started knowing furry artists. I knew Ambush, which is in our label. I knew, I believe. I discovered JT too there. Some other artists I really like. Oh, Sack. I knew them from there. Stewie. I just started like knowing a lot of people, and it was just so fun looking at furries making music.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's how I got into it, I believe, and started like getting into groups and stuff. Maybe like a couple years after that. Not a couple years, but like a year after that, maybe.
Okay.
So I don't really remember which groups I went in, but it was just so fun meeting new people.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, the fandom is like a great place for that, for, you know, not just artistic expression, but as a community, you know, finding people who have a shared interest, and like in this case...
Yeah, definitely, because, well, in this case, music, because it's just so fun to talk about music with other people that are just as cute as you.
What about going even further back from that? You said that by the time that you found Fuzznet because it was a furry music label, right? So how did you get into the furry fandom in general?
Oh, that was way before, actually. Okay. Okay, so this is not how I started, but I feel it's the spark that started the fire, I guess.
Okay.
But when I was like 9 years old, or 8, I guess, I'm a fan of Pokemon a little bit. a little fan of Pokemon.
Right.
You can see my plushies. There's the Pancham, Pikachu, Charizard, Greninja, other guys there. But I really liked Pokemon, and strangely enough, my favorite Pokemons at that time were the anthropomorphic ones, like, you know, Lucario and stuff like that.
Right.
So okay, yeah, that's the cringe out of the way. And how I got into the fandom, like I knew I liked anthropomorphic animals, but like how I got into the fandom was, I think, by Chip Flicks videos. Because I really enjoyed at some point of my life like animation storytime videos, you know, like the Odd Ones Out, Jaden Animations, something else YT. Those were amazing.
Right.
And there was also Chip Flick, which was like my guilty pleasure. I don't know why.
Okay.
But like I look at their videos and was like, dude, this is so nice in some way. I was just confused.
Okay.
So and after that, oh, this gives me so much chill. Okay, after that, I also was a mad fan of Cartoon Network.
Okay, yeah.
And there was this series that did not lasted more than a year because Cartoon Network just sucks now. But there was this series called Mao Mao, Heroes of Pure Heart. I don't know if you heard of it.
I don't think I'm familiar with that one. No.
Yeah, it's pretty much it's super cool. Like I just can't stress enough how cool that series is. Because like the facial expressions, the jokes, it was freaking fun. That show was freaking fun, if I tell you that.
Yeah.
And it was about this sheriff cat that got stuck in this like town, and now he has to protect it. And I got into that by 2020, when the pandemic started.
Okay.
And bless the pandemic, because that got me into logging into Discord and starting to join into Mau fandom groups.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, so, well, I got into those groups, and pretty much everyone was a furry there.
Right.
And I had
Naturally.
pretty much, and I had no choice, to be honest. I
Okay.
just felt like, okay, you guys are cool, actually. And I kind of want my fursona too. I want to start being a furry. So
Okay.
they knew how to draw, and I said, okay, I want this, and got my fursona, and now I'm cursed.
Same as the rest of us. Same as me and everyone watching this. If you're
Pretty much, yeah.
if you're watching this, the curse is now upon you. So what about your Sona in particular? How did that come about?
The Hawk. Actually, the story about that, how I got in, like, designed my persona is pretty interesting, actually. And you can tell I'm a big, like, my family is a big part of me, because my persona is actually also inspired from my family.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'll explain. So pretty much, my dad, my brother, and my granddad are all called Falco. Okay.
Oh, okay.
They're and Falco. It's a, well, Falcon. It's a hawk.
Right.
So I said, like, I don't really want to be that type of. No shame on any of you furries watching, but, like, I just don't want to be the typical, oh, I want a fox, I want a wolf, I want a cat. No, that's overrated. Sorry.
No.
No, but, like,
I understand.
No, but there were just so much like foxes and things. I said, I want something different. And I looked for something that was personal to me, that just resembled to me, and I just noticed. Took the fact that both my brother, my father, and my grandfather all called Falco. I said, well, Falco, Falcon, Hawk.
Sure.
And that's how I came up with it.
Okay. What about the name Osvald? Does that have any sort of personal significance like that?
Oof, you wouldn't even know how personal that is, because my real name is Osvaldo.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I didn't went too far into that and just said, okay, my name, but in English.
Fair.
I also, I find it funny how, again, no hate on any of you furries, but, like, I found funny how everyone just has, like, oh, I got my name because, like,
Right.
I just said, okay, my name, but, like, cooler, and that's it.
No.
I just got rid of one letter. I believe my whole, like, how I express myself, everything is very personal. My music, my persona, my nickname, everything is just, I mean, it's me. So it's just how I like it to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very important question, though, given that you did not choose a wolf or a fox or a sparkle dog. Which is the correct term, in your opinion? Is it avian or feathery? This is it's all on the line here. It's up to you. You are the official decider.
I'm representing the bird furries now. Okay.
Yes.
I think avian sounds cooler.
Yeah.
But I think it's
Agreed.
like more accurate, actually. So,
yeah, that's fair. No,
because technically, I mean, I don't know about biology a lot, but technically, feathers have fur in it, so they're still furries, but it's avian, so...
Right. I got you. I think that covers everything that I had in mind. Is there anything about your music, about yourself, about future projects, anything at all that you want to share before we sign off today?
Well, just telling you all that Fly Away remastered version, BIP. It's well, if this is after February 3rd, it's up now on every platform on Aural Alliance, and well, go stream it, and also well, be patient because Aviator CP is gonna be like, it's gonna be insane. Okay, I just can tell you that it's gonna be an absolute banger of an EP.
Yeah.
So yeah.
definitely looking forward to that. So
yeah, thanks.
If you're watching this on YouTube, go check out in the description and probably the top pinned comment all of the links. Check out Osvald's music. Check out Aural Alliance if you haven't even heard of them before.
Definitely.
What are you doing? What are you doing here? And if this makes it into an audio only format, like I said, this will probably be released in a way that you already have access to Aural Alliance's music. So definitely go check out Osvld Da Hawk.
Stream our music.
Yeah.
I'm watching you.
But
stream our music. Yeah.
Thank you again for coming on today and sitting down with me. This has been a lot of fun.
No, thanks to you for doing this, because I think podcasts is the only thing that this label needed. It's just such a cool way to introduce us all. So yeah, definitely thank you to inviting me, considering it, and well, just the time, because it's been amazing to work with you too.
Yeah, so thank you. You too.
Props to you too. Props to you too. Yeah.
Oh gosh, and I forgot the one of the most important things. If you are watching this on YouTube and not in the embed, also check out the link below. This is going to be converted and written up into a profile for Osvald on the Aural Alliance website. So if you're on my YouTube channel and you're coming from there, go check that out as well, because there will be an official profile / interview up there.
Yeah. But, yeah. If this is unfortunately your first impression of me, well, I actually enjoyed this a lot.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's been really lovely having you. So thank you once again. And I'm not sure how often these will get posted, but we will see you all again in the future with a different member of Aural Alliance sitting down and talking to me about all of the furry things and all the music things. So have a great day, and thank you everybody for watching.
Let's go. Well, thanks.